I think what I really want is to see that they reach that moment of realization that they're not that little small object that they thought they were. What belongs to the mind is concepts, conceptualization. The body, the felt sense, that's the reality for me. Yes, I think the work has to be in the body. That's why I find this modality that we call craniosacral therapy so useful, because it introduces us to the body in a totally socially acceptable, non-threatening way. We can touch each other. We seem to have forgotten how to be in touch. In any search for the truth, in my view, the body must be included. Traditionally, for so long, we've been searching for the truth from our intellects. What we find in the intellect is always going to be conceptual, inevitably. What we can find in the body, what we can physically sense, is going to be something nearer to the truth. It will certainly be our truth. Our truth will never be the whole truth. As many people as there are on the planet, there are different versions, different experiences of the truth. What counts for me above all is the teaching, not the teacher. And the teaching is in our embodied experience. Each person will have their own experience. The purpose of the courses is to create a safe, supporting atmosphere in which people can explore who they really are under all these disempowering, undigested life experiences that they carry around with themselves and with which they have identified, and they say, this is who I am. That is not who I am. That is my habits. It has been our habit since children to go to mummy, to go to someone else, to go to the doctor eventually, to go to somebody who is older, to go to somebody who has this label on them or that label on them, to find out who we are. The purpose of this work is re-empowerment, so that we find out and expand for ourselves this awareness of who we truly are. What brings us to the work is hard to say. In some people's cases, it may be just a natural development. They reach a point in their lives where they may say, there's nothing much wrong with me, I seem to be okay, but I just feel there must be something more. And it's that more that they want to go on and explore. For other people, a crisis forces them into making, I can't go on like this, obviously, I must find some other way of being. So it could be a crisis or it could be a natural development. There have been a series of courses over the years, and they've all created themselves completely organically. I never set out to set up a teaching package, but rather what has happened is I tentatively started with a little course with a few people, very nervously. Then gradually it expanded, and I was asked to do more, and it's kind of taken some sort of form. Now we have an introductory course which is called The Blessing of Insecurity. Everybody says, what do you mean, the blessing of insecurity? I've been trying to get rid of insecurity all my life. So I say to them, maybe you'd be better off stopping trying, because security insecurity indicates that we don't quite know where we are going next. We don't quite know what form our life is going to take in the immediate next period. Not to know what form it is going to take stops limiting it. If we do know what form it's going to take, we've got a neat package, but that's it. Then from there we go on, we have a 3-part course called The Embodiment of Spirit. The Embodiment of Spirit, 3 parts of 5 days each, gradually deepening the experience of the awakening, stems from the notion that the trouble with so much spiritual teaching is that it's conceptual. It arrives in a lovely package, very often with a gold ribbon round it, but it comes from another place, another time, and certainly other people's experience. And then we're given that on a plate and asked to accept that. And we may remember it and pass it on and wrap it up in a nice package, but we haven't embodied it. So the work is about revelation. Revelation, in other words, expansion of awareness. Following the expansion of awareness comes acceptance or surrender. Surrender to what? Not somebody who's going to beat us up, who's bigger than we are, but surrender to the intelligence that is within us, beneath the crystallizations of the intellect. It's got something around this expansion of awareness and realization, as I said earlier, that we are not just this bundle of habituations and habits, but that we are something much greater than that. And learning to, developing the habit, if you like, substituting a good habit for a bad habit. So I often get asked, the spirit, you keep talking about the spirit, Mike, where's that located? I locate it along with wisdom, perhaps synonymous with wisdom. I locate it in the heart. If we can develop the practice of reaching out to other people from the heart rather than from our categorizations of who they are, what they sound like, what they look like. But if we can just reach out to them from the heart. I'm struggling, like a lot of people, to write a book at the moment. I've been struggling for a long time with that. Students have asked me to write a book, and they keep on saying, they must have noticed something. They keep on saying, Mike, you won't be with us forever, which is not very kind. Would you please leave something behind and write us a book? So I struggled for a long time, and the reason I didn't want to write a book was quite simply that the universe is not stationary. It is in constant movement. Nothing is fixed. There is expansion and contraction. There is no one thing. And there is no one thing that I want to teach. What I want to teach, if teach is the right word, the experience I want to share is being with these people in this time, in this place. So it's continually evolving. These people may be in America. I've taught in some very beautiful places in America, up mountains, beside the sea, in various states, 5 different states, I think. I teach in Spain, I teach in Italy, I teach in England, I teach in France and Ireland. That's about it at the moment. So under pressure, having my arm severely twisted, I finally said, okay, I will write a book. So I'm getting together some of my own thoughts, together with some of the feedback I've had from some students in those countries that I've mentioned, and we're putting it all together. And I'm editing it right now. But the way I'm getting round the problem of everything moving is that I'm taking some material that I have online at the moment, putting it into the book, but I'm continuing to put more stuff online. So it's like volume 1 will be taken off, and then if I stay alive for another 2 years, there will be volume 2, and so on and so on. The name of the book seemed appropriate to me when I say it's the teaching that counts, not the teacher, to call it the empty chair. The empty chair comes from Buddhism, really. When the Buddha was still alive and was not going to live much longer, he said, please don't make any images of me. Don't make any statues. No graven images, you could say. So they all said, yes, of course, we will obey your commands. And look what happened. There are Buddha images in their millions all over the world. The tradition was, at that time, that rather than make a statue, you would just leave behind something like a slipper, a shoe, something a chair, something the teacher had inhabited, rather than the graven image or the picture. So I thought, well, okay, that's a good title, The Empty Chair. Whatever it is I have to share should come out of the empty chair. And then 2 or 3 Christmases ago, my wife was driving through the forests near where we live, and there was beside the road, there was a carpenter was displaying his goods that he made. Quite roughly, he seems to mostly make them with a chainsaw and a few bolts in them. Not fine modelling, but he had these amazing chairs with a very high back like that, and very solid, like this. And she thought that's what he needs. So she bought me one for Christmas. And I have it now beside the lake in at my meditation center in France.